Lego Man 123 are back with another video, and welcome to another tier listing making video, where today in this episode I'll be ranking my favourite Lego Harry Potter CMF Series 2 minifigs. So without further ado, let's get into it. So starting off, we have Harry Potter, and this is the version from the Half-Blood Prince. And I really like how we're getting grown-up versions of each of the three main characters, Harry, Ron, and Hermione. So it's really cool to see the amount of detailing on Harry. He has some really cool torso printing with like the sort of jacket he wears, the red shirt, and then even the legs have some really cool printing for shoes, and I believe a belt as well. The hairpiece is quite common, I believe, in some Lego City sets, but the design of it is definitely worth it because it definitely does fit Harry really nicely. I do believe his face expression, like I think he has two. I think they might be different from the ones we've gotten in the past, but I might be wrong there. The book piece is probably my favourite part of it because it's actually the potions book he gets from Potions class, and it has the property of the Half-Blood Prince on it, which is definitely really cool. I love that print so much. And then I also love the amount of detailing on it as well because it's really small piece to actually print on. I think it's a 1x2, and to actually see that much detailing on it is definitely really cool. So for that, I might possibly put Harry maybe in first position at the moment in A. Next we have Hermione Granger, and she is also from the Half-Blood Prince. Now this is definitely a really cool minifig to get because we're getting a really cool torso print. I really love the pattern on it. I think it's brown and this really cool sort of sand yellow color. I really love that color. And then possibly on her torso as well, but I'm pretty sure it's on her legs. We have this really cool sort of pink, almost like belt print on her. And then the legs also have some really cool printing for like boots. I really love that. And then the hairpiece might be new for Hermione for the Half-Blood Prince, but I'm not 100% sure. And her accessory is really interesting because it's actually a butterbeer. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And it's really interesting. I think it's a new design for like a cup. I'm just glad we didn't just get like a sort of a cup, what we've seen before in other sets. I really like how it's a completely different design. It's also very useful because it actually has this really cool sort of design to it where it has orange sort of in it to actually represent Butterbeer. So for that, I might possibly put her maybe in B because there's definitely some other variants of Hermione they could have done, because in the Chamber of Secrets it would have been really cool to actually see a cat Hermione, because in the Half-Blood Prince, this sort of scene where they're at, I think it's the 3 broomsticks, I'm pretty sure, it only lasts possibly maybe say 5 to 8 minutes max, so it's really not a big scene, so I wish they maybe did something a little more iconic instead of this, but it's definitely a great minifig to get. Next up, we have Ginny Weasley, and she is from the Half-Blood Prince as well, and this is when she goes to the Slug Club, I believe, or like this private party Professor Slughorn holds for like sort of special students or students who sort of stand out to him. So it's interesting we're getting more minifigs like that, because I believe in the Clock Tower some of those minifigs are like from the Slug Club. So it's interesting we're getting like sort of fancy dressed students and all that, or like main characters from Harry Potter. And Jenny is an okay minifig. I love the new hairpiece they've actually given her. That definitely does work for Ginny. I love the molding for it. It seems to be a hard plastic, and on the left side there seems to be some sort of like gold clip, maybe, not 100% sure. And then the ice cream cup she does have, that does look like a new mold, which is definitely really cool. I love that. And then the torso and leg printing is definitely really interesting because I think it's a dress piece, so it starts from the torso and then goes down to the legs. That is really cool. And she does seem to have some really cool sort of boot printing or like shoe printing, but I wish we got maybe a different variant of Ginny because she's really not in it too much with like this dress. She's probably in it for maybe a max of 5, I'm not even sure, like 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. So I wish we possibly got maybe another variant of her, a bit more of an iconic one. So possibly maybe like a Chamber of Secrets one, or even like maybe a Goblet of Fire one. I'm not 100% sure, but I wish we possibly maybe got a different variant for her. But it's really cool to actually get a grown-up Ginny, so for that I might possibly put her maybe in second position for B. Next up, we have Professor Dumbledore, and I believe this is his version from the Chamber of Secrets. I'm just going to put him straight up into first position in A, because I think this is a really awesome minifig. Firstly, we're getting a new mold for Fawkes, because the only time we've actually gotten a version of Fawkes in the new wave of Harry Potter sets was from the Great Hall, and that was actually a build which was quite disappointing because it's actually hard for like Dumbledore or just minifigs to actually hold a build, and to actually get a sort of not life size but minifig scale Fawkes mold is really awesome. I love the amount of detailing on it considering the size, like the inclusion of like the tail design and all that is really cool. The beak, the eyes, and the overall color, and then Dumbledore as a minifig is really awesome. I love the new, not the new, but like the torso printing on that really nice sort of darkish red, and they used the same dress piece from the Dumbledore and Professor Trelawney from the first Harry Potter CMF series, so it's really cool to get a recolor for that. And then the hair and hat combo is really awesome. I love the mold for his hair, the hat he does wear. I don't know the specific name for it, but it does look really cool. And I think that might be a new mold for the beard, but I'm not 100% sure. I love it in white. And then I do think he does have two different facial expressions from the one we got in the first CMF series, because Dumbledore is actually played by two actors, because in the first two films, the actor who played Dumbledore, he actually sadly passed away, so they had to get another Dumbledore. So it's really interesting how they actually did create a minifig for that, and I'm really thankful they did, because that's a really awesome Dumbledore, and I just love the detail on his facial expression. Next up, we have one of the Weasley twins. This could either be Fred or George. I'm not too sure on which one it is, but I think this is a really cool minifig to get, because I love the beanie and hair combo. I really love the design and the mold for the beanie, and the hair is definitely really interesting. The torso he does wear is really interesting, because I think the Fred and George from the CMF series is either from the Goblet of Fire, because I'm pretty sure one of them is because of the briefcase he does have for like the Triwizard Tournament, and then possibly the other one is from the Prisoner of Azkaban, just because of the 1x2 print of the Marauders map. So it's really interesting how we're getting different variants, but they might be from the same movie. And then the torso does have some really nice detail on it, with like a bow, and then I believe some pockets and buttons, and then just some possibly lines or just creases, not 100% sure. And then, as I said, with the briefcase, I think there might be a sticker or like two stickers inside of the briefcase, or it might be a print. So it's really cool how we're getting something like that. And then the legs, I can only just see because the briefcase is blocking it, but there seems to be some really cool detailing on the legs. So I might possibly put him maybe in third last position, or maybe third in B, because I feel like they could have done a bit more of a better job for both of the Weasley twins, because they could have done a really cool minifig which was from the Goblet of Fire, because in that they actually go to the not Triwizard, but the Quidditch World Cup, and they look really awesome in the movie with their sort of team colours on, like I think they're the Irish, I'm pretty sure that's their team. So it would have been really awesome to actually see a minifig for not just those two, but also Ginny. It would have been cool to see why do I keep trying? Triwizard Tournament, but Quidditch World Cup minifig for Ginny. Next up, we have Ron Weasley, and just like Harry, Hermione, and Ginny, he is also from the Half-Blood Prince. Now, just quickly, it's a little disappointing we're getting the same accessory for him, because Hermione and Ron do share the same accessory, like the Butterbee in the cup. So it would have been really cool to just get a different accessory for Ron instead of just having the same one. Or it could have been like a sort of broken glass, or just something inside of the glass, a different color compared to the Butterbee. I'm not 100% sure on what they could have done, but it's a little disappointing how we're getting the same accessory. But I do love Ron's torso print. I love the pattern of it. It seems to be like a sort of darkish red with blue. It's quite hard to see, but then I do love the design for his pants. There seems to be some like sort of creases or just sort of rips in a way on his legs. Not 100% sure on what that is. His hairpiece I think I've seen before, and I think it was another version of Ron, like way back when some of these 2010 sets were made, but I might be wrong there. It kind of does look like it though. And then his facial expression is definitely quite an interesting one. I do think he does have two, but I might be wrong there. So for that, I might possibly put him maybe in last position in B, because I just wish we got another accessory for Ron instead of just the same one for Hermione. Next up, we have Balatrix Lestrange, and I'm pretty sure her legs are the dress piece used by Dumbledore in this series, but just in a different color and a different design to it. So I really love the dark grey and the light grey pattern on her to actually represent her Azkaban uniform. That is really cool. And I also love the detail of like dirt on the dress piece to actually represent she's sort of like worn them for a long time. They're like being worn out, like dirt's on them. So I really love that detail. And I think the handcuffs, I'm pretty sure they are, which are in a lot of Lego City sets, I think they're in a new color, which is definitely really cool. And I love the hairpiece for her. That might be the same as the one from the 2010 sets, but I'm not 100% sure. I just love the design for it, the mold. And then the print on the 1x2, I'm pretty sure that's like her Azkaban sort of number, because I'm pretty sure in Azkaban they have like a bunch of numbers. And then her facial expression is definitely really cool, and I think she does have two. So I might possibly put her maybe in third position. Now maybe first position in B. Next up, we have Griphook, and I believe this is his appearance from the Deathly Hallows Part 1. By far, the most valuable piece for this minifig is the Sword of Gryffindor, and I'm really glad it's a mold and a really awesome design for it, instead of just like including a regular sword, because the Sword of Gryffindor, it has a really unique design to it, a lot of really cool details on it and features. So I'm really glad Lego actually created a new mold for the Sword of Gryffindor instead of just giving Griphook just a regular sword, because that would be really disappointing. So that is by far the greatest piece for Griphook as a minifig. And then the really cool ears and the hair Griphook does have, and I think it's a really nice mold that does look really cool. His torso is very simple, and I believe it's Chandler Bing's from the Lego Ideas Friends sets, but I might be wrong there. And then the legs don't have any detailing on them, they're just short legs because he is a goblin. I'm pretty sure that is correct. So I might possibly put him maybe in second position in A. Next up, we have Lily Potter. So it's really interesting they're actually getting a minifig for her, because I believe this is her appearance from either the Philosopher's Stone, because we do get a quick glimpse of her, or it might be from the Deathly Hallows Part 2, where Harry goes into like the memories of Snape from his tear. So it's really cool that we're getting a minifig for her, because this is such a dark moment when Voldemort actually kills Harry's parents. I really didn't think Lego would actually create minifigs on James and Lily, or even include them in like a Lego set or CMF series. So it's really awesome they're actually seeing them, because it's such a dark scene. I really didn't expect Lego to do something like that. So Lily is a really cool minifig, because the hairpiece she does use, I think it definitely does fit her really well, because you see it in some Lego City sets, including some other Lego themes. Her torso print is very simple. It's just some really nice shades of blue, a light blue and a dark blue. And then I do love the sort of jacket she does have. And then the legs I don't think have any printing on them, except maybe like boots or shoes. But then the best piece about Lily Potter is the baby Harry. I love that so much. I'm pretty sure it's just the same piece what they used for baby Voldemort. They just recolored it for Harry. I love the H printed on there for Harry. The eyes are really cute. I just love it so much. So for that, I might possibly put her maybe in third position in B. Next up, we have Fred or George. It's either one of the twins, and I believe this twin is from the Prisoner of Azkaban, and the only reason I'm saying that is because of the 1x2 print of the Marauders map, and that print is really cool. I love the amount of detailing on it with like the name of it, and then like a small sort of portion of Hogwarts printed onto it. I really love that, and the coloring is definitely really accurate. And what I really love is that Fred and George, they might be twins, but I really like how they don't have the exact same torso and legs. I do believe they do have the same beanie with like the mold and the hair, and then I also believe the legs are the same, but it's quite hard to tell because on one of the twins the briefcase is actually blocking the legs, but I'm pretty sure they are the same. I'm really glad that on one of the twins, their torso or like their sort of trench coat they wear, you can actually see the pattern of their shirt they do wear. So I'm really glad we just don't get like the exact same minifig. So I'm glad they sort of mix it up a bit. So for that, I might possibly put him maybe in 4th position in B. Next we have James Potter, and I believe this version of him is from a photo which Harry does get from, I possibly believe, Hagrid, or just a photo of his parents in general. It's really cool to actually have a 2x3 print of the photo of James and Lily. I love the amount of detailing on it, and I really like how James and Lily, instead of just being like sort of a real life characters or like real life people in the picture, they're actually Lego. I really like that, which I believe they are. It's quite hard to actually see, but I'm pretty sure they are. But my only problem is, it's really strange how we're getting James from the photo, but then Lily is like a completely different minifig from like a different scene. But I'm really glad they also did that as well, because we're getting like different variants of them at sort of like different times. I really like how James has like the scarf, which was first introduced in, I believe, the Lego Ninjago movie CMF series, which it was orange for J. The torso and leg printing is pretty simple, but I do like how it almost starts from the torso and then like works its way down to the legs, and I'm pretty sure it's like some sort of like suit trench coat. And then the hairpiece I think is just like the same in some Lego City sets. That's pretty common. And then I really love the sideburns printed onto his face, and I think he does have 2. So for that, I might possibly put him maybe in 3rd position. Now maybe 4th position in B. Next up, we have Neville Longbottom, and he's from the Prisoner of Azkaban. What I really like about this minifig is the Monster Book of Monsters. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Quite a tongue twister. I really love how we're actually getting a sort of mold and a design for that, because it's definitely a really interesting sort of tool, no, not tool, like equipment or utensil for Hogwarts students, because it's a really dangerous book, because if you open it wrong, it can actually attack you, and I really like how Lego did include it. But the one disappointing thing is that in the scene in the Prisoner of Azkaban, when Neville opens it, he sort of like gets his uniform like ripped up by the book of, oh man, I'm gonna stuff up that word a lot. The Monster Book of, just whatever it is. I really wish Lego sort of made Neville's torso like all ripped up and all that. I think it would have looked a little more better instead of just having like a clean torso. So for that, I might possibly put him, maybe in 1st position in C, because I think this would have been a lot more of a better minifig instead of just having a sort of Hogwarts uniform on, which is Gryffindor, because I believe the legs and the torso are the same from the first one, which I think Harry, Ron, and Hermione wore, or it's just the same like uniform which one of the characters from Harry Potter in sets did wear. So it would have been really cool to get a unique design for a torso just for Neville. Next up, we have Kingsley Shacklebolt. Hope I'm saying his name correctly, but it's really cool we're actually getting a minifig based on him, because I think he's mostly in the Order of the Phoenix or the Deathly Hallows Part 1, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but it's really awesome we're actually getting a minifig on him. And I honestly don't think we've gotten a minifig on him ever before. He might have been in some of like the early Harry Potter sets from like, say, 2001 maybe, like 2004, and then I don't think he was in the 2010 sets, but I might be wrong there. I think this minifig is really awesome, because they definitely do capture him very well, because he's such a unique character, and I just love the hat he does wear. Now, very sorry I don't know the specific name for it, I just love the design for it. His torso and legs are quite hard to see, because he does have this really interesting sort of cape design piece. I'm not 100% sure on the exact name for it, like No, I don't think that's called that. But I really love just how unique he is compared to just other auras or wizards. So for that, I might possibly put him maybe in second position in A. Next up, we have Professor Sprout, and I believe we've seen her before in, I think it was at like the 4 minifig pack, I'm pretty sure, maybe, not 100% sure, and we also may have seen her in some other Harry Potter sets, but apart from that, I'm really glad we're getting a new variant for her. I love her hair and hat combo, I really love the design and the mold for that. The torso and I think that's the dress piece is really cool. I just love the coloring of it with this really nice sort of brownish color. And then I do love the detailing for the dress piece with like the holes and how it starts from the torso and continues down. And then the detailing for like dirt on the dress piece is really cool. It's very similar to Balatrix Lestrange where it's sort of like shown as being worn out. So I really like that. But my only problem is I'm pretty sure the accessory she does have, which is a mandrake. I think it's nothing like the one we actually got in the first one. I'm pretty sure it's a like minifig head and it's got detailing on it to actually represent a mandrake. I really loved the Pacific piece for the mandrake, so it's really quite shocking and a shame to actually see Lego just create a completely different one, because I think the mold is a lot more accurate than the head. But apart from that, I think the minifig is definitely pretty awesome. So for that, I might possibly put her maybe in third position. Maybe fifth position. Yeah, I think that's a good position. Next up, we have Luna, which is dressed up as a lion. I think this is a really unique minifig because you really don't get to see too many minifigs as unique as this, and Luna is definitely a great example because I really love just how different she is compared to other students in like casual clothes, because she really has a very unique design to it, and that is definitely proven by this minifig. I love the mold for the lion. I just love the design for it. How they captured like the mane or the fur on it is definitely really cool. Her torso is definitely really interesting as well. And then the legs are definitely my favorite part. There seems to be like 3 different colors. Really nice pink, a blue, and then a red for her shoes. And I'm pretty sure with this minifig, we actually do get a hairpiece with her. So you could take off the lion part and just have her in like her sort of casual clothes with another sort of Pacific lion hat on. So that is definitely just lion helmet. So that is definitely really cool to actually see that, and I'm pretty sure she does have a face print of 2, so that's really cool. So I might possibly put her maybe in maybe second position in B. Yeah, maybe second position in B. And finally, we have Myrtle, and I'm just gonna put her straight up in possibly maybe fourth position in A, because I just love the coloring of her. I'm really glad they just didn't go with like a regular minifig sort of tone or like skin color. I'm really glad they went for this really cool sort of bluish grey color to actually represent that she is a ghost. It would have been really interesting to actually see Lego make her translucent, but I can see why, because then it would be really hard to actually print on like translucent pieces, but it could be really cool to actually see. I love the mold for her hairpiece. It looks very similar to Dorothy's from the Lego Movie 2 CMF series, and then her torso definitely does have some really cool printing, but it is quite hard to see because of the diary, which I'm pretty sure that is Tom Riddle's diary with like I don't think there's the hole in it, I think it just says like Tom Riddle's diary, and then on the 1x2 tile, I'm pretty sure it says like, hello, my name is Harry Potter, and then something like with that scene. I'm not 100% sure on the exact details for that. And then the legs, they seem to have some printing on it, but it is quite hard to see. And then I'm pretty sure her facial expressions there are too. And then I just love the coloring for her skin to actually show that sort of ghostly look of her. And then the piece in the translucent coloring is definitely really cool, because we first got introduced to that from the Lego DC Superheroes Series 1, I'm pretty sure, and that was actually to sort of like pose minifigs in cool sort of sort of cool stances and all that, and it gives this really cool sort of floating effect for Moni Myrtle because she is a ghost. So, hope you guys did enjoy this video as much as I did making it, because I really did enjoy sharing my thoughts and opinions on the Lego Harry Potter CMF Series 2 minifigs. I would definitely love to hear what you have to say down in the comments below, and as always guys, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I cannot wait to see you next video. Goodbye!